What's good? Game on, Wisconsin. It's great to be back. I felt that was like a really long week there that we didn't. I think we had been doing 2 a week there for a few
Yeah.
weeks in a row. So going from Monday to Monday seemed like a break almost. But it's great to be back. I know both of us had small little vacations this last week as well. And how was yours, Amar?
It was awesome, man. It was a really crazy week, but the weekend was great. You know, we got away, went to Ocean City for the weekend, met with up some friends that have a condo up there. So, like, they got 2 kids, we got 2 kids. So we all just hung out at the beach. We did the boardwalk. It was a really nice weekend. And then, we're back home now, but the girls are still, now they're with my grandmother and my sister-in-law, and they're just kind of enjoying it up a little bit more. Seeing the sights and sounds, not Ocean City, but other places, And so
Nice.
me and the wife are home, just chilling, relaxing the next couple of days before school starts and all that good stuff. So you know how it is, man. How are you doing? How was your camping weekend? How was all that?
Yeah, dude, my little guy turned 1 last Wednesday. We went to a campground that's just like 30 minutes away from, or about 45 minutes away from here. And it's called Silver Lake. It's beautiful. It's up in the Cascade Mountains, and there's pine trees all around the lake. And then we had a bunch of friends out there. We had, I think, at one time 7 or 8 kids that were like 3 and under, just running around. And we let my little man get into his cake, and he was just getting wild. And dude,
Nice,
it was a fantastic day, man. Fantastic trip. But then, like, a few of my in-laws had never gone camping before.
Okay.
And I don't think my wife and I prepared for ourselves how much extra work it is when you first go camping with people.
Yes.
Because when you go with experienced campers, like if like you walk away from the fire, you'll know someone else will stoke the fire. You're not having to teach everyone how to cook this or set up a tent. And so it was a lot of work. It was worth it. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, man, I got to go with more experienced campers next time. And it was tiring. So it took me a couple days to bounce back, but I'm feeling good today and pumped to get into this episode.
Hell yeah, man.
Of Coast to Coast Packers.
Oh yeah, man. I was gonna say, seems like the little guy had a good time. That's what matters, right? First one, but of many, I'm sure. But man, oh man, like, trust me, I used to go camping all the time when I was a kid. I used to do Boy Scouts, and it was fun. But man, oh man, like, you talk about just being in the wilderness and just trying to like fend for yourself, and you got your boys with you, But man, it's you need to have somebody that has some idea about what they're doing, like 100%. Like, there's this one old movie with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
He, like, Alec Baldwin's a photographer, and Hopkins like this millionaire. They're on a helicopter, and the helicopter crashes in the woods. And Hopkins has been literally like reading a book on like survival, and he's like utilizing this book just for them to survive. And it's like such a crazy idea. Like this old man who's like a millionaire, billionaire, whatever, but he's just able to take what he's reading and apply it to a situation and be able to adapt, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You just need somebody like that. Every one of your crews, whatever you're doing, just somebody that just knows what they're doing. Like, that makes life so much easier.
It's nice when there's more than one person, though, too.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
But speaking of surviving, the Packers were slaughtered last night. I don't think it was much of survival. So let's get into some knee-jerk reactions to Denver. So if you're listening right now, too, throw down what your knee-jerk reactions are. I don't know if you want to go first. I have one thing in my mind.
You go first, man. I always go first. You go first, please. I want to hear what you guys say, my friend.
Well, right away, it was just like when we saw who was starting, like 31 guys were healthy scratches last night. So it was just like, what is this going to be? And it was bad from the get-go. The thing that bothered me was it's like there was no fight. It was like lifeless from the beginning. And I just couldn't help but think, like, did they check out? Were they burnt out, from the week of, inter-squad practices? They're practicing and playing at elevation that whole time. Or were they just spent and ready to go home? I don't know, man. That's really my only jerk reaction.
Mhm.
It was like zombies out there playing, and it was just sad and pathetic.
It's funny you say that. I was really looking forward to seeing the boys play live because a lot of times when it comes to the Packers games, being Northern Virginia, you can't always see them, right? So we
Yeah.
got home, ate dinner. I was ready to go, man. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna digest all of this, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, dude, like it was so bad. And again, maybe it was because of the fact that like the players knew they weren't playing, but like that's the thing though. Like even if like the starters aren't going, it definitely had reminiscence of like what was it 2018, the Hall of Fame game where basically like 50 players didn't play or something crazy, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it just was the play calling was so vanilla on both sides of the ball. Like I mean, it was to the point where like people are calling it like run, pass, run, pass, run, pass, right?
Yeah.
And like even with that being said, like the stars aren't going. These guys that are the backups or the backups to the backups. This is their opportunity to shine. And man, like it just didn't look good. And I could just see LaFleur's face on the sideline where he just looks so pissed and dejected and disgusted with what he was seeing. And I'm like, it's a preseason game. And I mean, even I went on the Twitter and I was talking shit like, okay, what's up with this defense? I was like, but I got it. Like even like the defense was playing very, very vanilla, right?
Yeah.
But like just things that we had seen in the regular season last year or the year before was trying to rear its ugly head. Poor execution, poor tackling, and just my knee-jerk reaction was like, I think the one time that we had a kicker go out, Joseph missed the kick, and I'm just like, I get it. People are like, hey, Crosby's done. He's cooked, whatever. You know what? My knee-jerk reaction is that if Rich Bisaccia's seat is not burning, it should be on fire right now. Because the special teams, minus Whelan. Whelan is legit. Like, I'm sorry. We are set at punter for the next 15 years. He is good. Like, when he took that unnecessary hit, I was really annoyed. I was like, shit, do not get my boy hurt because I do not want us to have to go find a freaking punter. But, like, he was great, but man, the rest of the special teams, both sides, offense, defense, there was some bright spots, but all in all, it just looked bad. And there's a lot of talk of people saying about, Clifford, is a gamer and he's like a guy that gets it done in the regular, in the game. Well, it didn't look like that. It just
This was his chance,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Maybe he would have been helped if there was a few more starting weapons out there, but they had made the decision that this is how they were going to play this. I mean, they called Love out it was like at the day after the Browns game. It was like after the Browns game. They're like, he ain't playing in Denver. So you knew then it was just like, yeah, man,
Even like with Dylan not playing. So everyone's like, oh, Dylan didn't play, so his position on the team is locked. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I understand, like, he knows the offense. He's good blitz pickup. I'm just basically repeating everything Nagler said earlier today. But the truth is, like, I understand all that. But the fact is that, like, this is where we got screwed last year on kicker, where there was no true competition for Anders Carlson. And, he just basically went in with the position given to him. I feel like every single position minus, like, Jair, Jordan, Xavier, Rashawn, and Kenny, it should be a full open competition. And I'm throwing Watson. I'm throwing Dobbs. Even though Josh Jacobs, I feel like is going to be the unquestioned starter. I still put him in there just because it's like we see what he's doing in practice for the most part. We see what he's doing like elsewhere, right, in the past. But really, we haven't seen in a year like really what he is. I have full confidence he's going to be a beast. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I think it's just open competition across the board, and it was just a terrible sight. It was bad. And people are like, oh, they came out flat or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, LaFleur, you're in year, 5 now? Like, at this point, you should be having these kinds of mistakes, if that makes sense. Right? Like, as a coach, you should know what works. You should know what not works. You should know, like, if your stars should be playing more or less. And I don't know. Sometimes I think, like, I don't know. It's like the repeat mistakes is what kills me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. I need you to give me some I need you to give me something, dude. I'm
well,
telling you.
let's find some silver linings, man.
Yeah, let's find silver lining. Yeah, get some positives in this
Eh,
situation.
You got to, and they were hard to find, but I'm just pumped because one of my guys that I defended during the draft was Hopper, and I saw the intangibles, I saw the athleticism there, and I was like, give this guy some time, man, and they're gonna find a way to use him on defense, and you know he balled out last night, man, and you know he's definitely, you knew he was going to be on the roster, you know, where he was drafted, he was going to at least get this full year,
Right.
but I feel like, you know, what he showed last night, felt like the only guy that was playing sometimes, that still was in the game, and you know, have you ever played for a team like that or seen something like that where it's like the only person trying on a team at one point? But you know, and so I'm just pumped about him, man. What he did, you know, I think maybe later in the season we might see him play some like meaningful snaps as he's learning the professional game and learning how to be used by Halfley. So that's my silver lining, man. I was pumped to find Hopper balling out and hopefully showing me that he's going to prove me right, that someday we will call him Sheriff Hopper back there.
Woof! Okay. All right. Okay. So first off, you've been on the Hopper train since day one. I was not. But I have to give you credit where he did take over the play calling duties, the green dot. He did pretty good. He did lead the team in tackles, I believe. It wasn't like he was able to make the stops that came to him. It's something like Christian Waltz said after the game was like, you know, make the plays that come to you. He did the same thing, right? I mean, I think the guy that I've always been high on who, you know, had a sack and just looked like a menace out there was Brenton Cox Jr. You've been on that train for a while too. And I really liked his game a lot. I just thought that for the number, like someone put out there about the number of snaps that he played, he had 5 pressures and a sack. I'm just like, dude, like that's how you make a team. Like you've been there for a while. You've been there for 2 years now, and you're taking your opportunities, you're running with it. Like I said, there was moments within the game where I was like, man, like he looked good. I think Jonathan Ford looked pretty good. Jonathan Ford went from literally like a guy who was a 7th round pick who really was like, you didn't think anything was going to happen with him, to this year in training camp. I just can't stop hearing good things about him, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, my guy Daniel Whelan. I think Daniel Whelan was like my highlight. I know he was playing the ball like crazy, but it was just the hang time, the distance. I mean, he was getting some air up on those punts, man. And the thing is, like looking at the protection, from what I could tell, the protection wasn't the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you know, you don't have your starting special teams out there, but I'm just saying, like, he was booting the shit out of that thing, dude. And honestly,
the thing is, he pushed a couple into the end zone though, where then the net wasn't that fantastic. So that's where he just needs to polish his game, I think, is dropping it in 20, you know?
Yeah. But you know what though? Like if that's all he needs to work on, like I feel like watching the way he's improved, I feel like that's fixable in comparison to like Borokowez and like J.K. Scott, who for the life of them just couldn't get it right. I mean, J.K. is doing okay in Los Angeles, but that's because he's in a dome and he's in good weather, right? But like Borokowez, I think, is in Cleveland. Good luck with that. And but no, I'm just saying, like, I'm with you. Like, he is since last year, it seems like Daniel has been steadily progressing the right way. And so if that is what keeps Bisaccia employed, I get it. Like him and Nixon doing what they've been doing, I get that. But like, hey, this kicker thing, dude, I am so effing over it. Like Jake Bates is over here hitting freaking game winners, and like, I'm just saying, like. Then you bring in this guy Alex Hale, who's never kicked in the NFL, who's basically nobody, right? I don't know, like whoever Goody has as his guy that does special team pickups, like whoever does the field goal kickers or whatever, he needs to fire his ass, and he just needs to find someone else because, bro, like I think we as Packer fans have been spoiled by like Mason Crosby. Yeah, of course, Mr. Crosby wasn't, he wasn't like Justin Tucker, but my man, he made more clutch kicks than missed them, if we're going to be real about it, right? And like, I'm sorry, like I just think like at this point, if I'm seeing what I'm seeing, I feel like that's going to be what bites us in the ass down the road. Because as a team that like our team is built, unless we're thinking about blowing everybody out, which I would love for that to happen, but that's not going to be the case. You're going to have games where you're going to need that kicker to come through. And I just don't think him or Joseph have it. I just don't think they have the psyche for it. And I really don't care if Carlson leaves our team and goes somewhere else and blows it up. Because if that happens, then I'm firing Bisaccia in a heartbeat. That means I'm just like, you weren't doing what you were supposed to do, because clearly he went over to X, Y, and Z, and they got it done. So it means the coaching. I'm going to blame the coach. I ain't going to blame him. So, yeah, bro, I'm just over this kicker shit. Someone was like telling me to shut the hell up on Twitter because I said, please bring back Crosby. And I'm just like, Harry Potter, never.
But hey, comments are going off here. So let's dig in. So one of the things I think we're talking about a reaction here. Gil Lundgren says no depth in certain position groups.
I agree with that.
I can agree with that as well. Is there a position group that comes to your mind?
Honestly, I thought the offensive line was a lot better than
that's right where my mind went.
Right? Like I just was thinking like, okay, like Newman we know sucked. I mean, we all know he sucks. And just watching him in that game, he played the whole game basically. Yeah. And every time I saw a 70, he was getting his ass whooped every single time, bro. And I'm just like, I'm over that. And I know it's one of those things where you can know the playbook, you can know the team, but if you're shitty at it, regardless, doesn't matter how much you know. If you're shitty, right? And so, like, then people were saying this too. Like, if we lose Walker, then I hope to God that David Bakhtiari is not signed because we can bring him back, maybe and like make it worth his while, right? Yeah. And then if we lose Tom, that's one of those things with Jordan Morgan. You got to hope to God that he kind of somehow figures out a way to get, practice snaps and reps at the tackle positions because, bro, our starting offensive line is, I think, perfect, right? I think we're great there. I'm really concerned. Injuries are 100%, and someone's going to go down. And, I'm terrified of that. And every time I watch highlights of the Niners and Dominic Pooney, our guy, I'm fucking pissed, man. I just
did he go in the 5th? Was it or
no? Was it 5th or 4th? I'll check for you.
Okay. Yeah, man. I saw that he was somewhere. I read an article about who was smashing some preseasons that were like day 3 guys, and I saw that he was listed there, man. And I thought about you right away, and I was just like, there he is, man. He's showing out. Gotta love those day 3 guys, man.
Bro, 3rd round pick. He's a 3rd round pick, dog.
Okay, so he was a day 2 guy.
Yeah. So that's
okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that, but
Well, it's like Jacob Monk. That's a guy you hope can develop.
I'm still on that train. I'm still on it. I think he could do it. I really do.
Yeah.
Like because he did show some real good tape last week, and I think. I know someone said in the comments, but the truth of the matter is we did have our backups playing against the starters, which I think is a valid excuse, but it's also not a valid excuse, if you know what I'm saying, right? Like, just because they're starters doesn't mean that you should play like shit. Like, you should you should elevate your game to that. If you want to be a starter one day, right? I don't know if I'm talking out of line there, but I mean, how the hell do you – like if you were to come into the lineup and someone gets banged up, you're going to be going up against starters. So you're saying that because they're going against stars, they can't play? That's bullshit. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. True North Packers fan says here, if you're going to repeat what Nag said, then you need to be more drunk. So –
Mission accepted, I guess. Shit, I'll try.
And fun football podcast. Regular season the score would be flipped. We didn't take the game seriously. It really didn't. It didn't feel like we were doing that much. And he said to us that Carl Brooks got nice push. That is all I got.
Yeah. Look, there was guys like I haven't gone and rewatched it because I just don't want to like put myself through it. But I normally do watch it twice, right?
Yeah.
But from the first view, 94 was everywhere. 94 was gaining his pressure. He was in the backfield. He was making. I mean, and they had Lucas Van Ness out there too. And I think they're just saying they're trying to get him snaps because he didn't play that much when he was in Iowa, which I thought was kind of weird. I was like, that was like a year ago, man. Like, why are we worried about that? But
yeah,
fine, like whatever works, right? But yeah, like Carl Brooks, man. I just that's the one position, the defensive line, because the fact that we switched to a 4-3, I feel like we're not gonna have to worry about when it comes to depth, right? But yeah, just linebackers, I think we're good, especially like like you said, Hopper was showing out, Kristen Walsh was showing out.
Yeah.
I think every linebacker had a bad play and a good play, if that makes sense, right? Like when Hopper was out in space, he did not need to be in space. I'm sorry. Like I am blitzing him. I am sending him on a man route. I am not letting him go into any kind of zone whatsoever. And that exposes him. That exposes him until he gets better at it. Yeah, like he's a guy that, man, he looked like Quay's year playing in zone at times. So I'm like, oh shit, that's not good. But in your defense, when he attacked, man, I mean, he was bringing the hit stick like multiple times. I was like,
yeah,
that's what they saw. Third round? I don't know. I would have got Pooty instead, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because you could have probably got a Hopper in the fourth. He probably, it's wild though that we reach for some of these guys, but then they
show out.
They show out.
Evan Williams the same way too, right? Evan Williams is a 6th round pick, is what the DIC, the Draft Industrial Complex, is saying. But we got him in the 4th. And last week he was unstoppable, and this week just everybody didn't look good. I mean, it just sad state.
It's just like what do you think when you have probably a few guys that might be checked out.
Yeah.
Say you're Royce Newman, and you've been doing these inner squad practices all week, and every defensive lineman from Denver is kicking your ass. Yeah. Then you got to go out on the field and do it on TV, like. How into I don't know, and I'm not trying to throw shade just Royce's way, but I sorry Royce for using you as an example. It didn't go well last night. But
negative is good for me.
I'm just saying there could have been some other players out there too through those inter squad practices that just didn't do well against who they were matched up against. Right. Then you're burnt out from that all week, and then you're going to play a game against them. And so I don't know if you saw, I titled this episode "Everything's Fine" because that's how I'm feeling. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's go home. Everything's fine, man. As Gil pointed out earlier, there is some depth concerns at some places right now, but you hope that there's some youth there. Maybe we do bring DB back to provide depth to that offensive line, and I don't know. I'm not really concerned at all right now.
I think the only thing I was gonna say, you mentioned it too, like they were getting their asses kicked all practice, right? And that's when the Stars were playing. And I was hoping that them getting their asses kicked all week in practice, that they would have showed out more in the game. But then again, that was a big, I guess that's been a big topic of conversation amongst all these talking heads, is that LaFleur was questioning the effort and the play and the desire of the players in the game. How can he do that? Like, how does he know, like, if they weren't like stuff like that? Yeah. Like, how is he going to make those kind of comments? I'm like, well, he's a coach. He has to find a way to burn the ass, right? And he needs to find a way to get something lit up under them. And truthfully, I think what you're saying is 100% right. It is a preseason. It doesn't really matter. They came out relatively healthy, unlike the Broncos. Broncos had players dropping left and right. And, it might be a good thing for them to have this kind of an embarrassing loss now in the preseason, right? Yeah. Like, we're not utilizing a regular season game to get right because we got our faces kicked in like we did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Giants, right? Yeah. But, like, getting it done in the preseason, getting it out the way, having a taste of humble pie. Because, you at practice, you at your house, you're kicking ass. Hell, Jordan Love comes out. He throws, he plays 3 snaps, and he throws a touchdown. He's 2 for 2. He's like, shit, this is good. It's easy, right? And then he gets to Denver practice, and they whooping his ass, and he's like, what the hell is going on here? And so maybe – and then I think that's what someone mentioned too, was like Baltimore's coming to town. Baltimore's a playoff team. Baltimore is a Super Bowl contender. And they have literally had a top 5 offense and defense for multiple years running. So whatever the hell they needed to get out of their system against Denver is fine by me because I want them to bring some kind of heat and passion. And that's the thing with them. Like, they remind me of the Steelers a little bit sometimes, right? Where they play down to their competition and then they play up to their competition, right? Like we were supposed to destroy Carolina and Tampa, barely beat Carolina, and Tampa whooped our ass, right?
Yeah.
But then, we're supposed to be going to Dallas and get our asses smoked because Dallas is such an amazing team and we're just barely hanging on, and we kicked their ass. It's very much like almost like a bizarre world when it comes to the Packers team sometimes. So Packers versus the host of the Ravens, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Before we jump, we have a comment here that I like. Nick here is just saying that everything good. Saying I had enough of the Sean Clifford experience. Believes that we should snatch up Tannehill while Pratt develops. This is a conversation that I've seen some editorials or articles pop up online about going out and Tannehill or people mentioning Tannehill's name. So let's before we jump into that Packers Ravens thing, do you think we go the vet route this year?
Man.
We didn't last year, right?
Yeah, I don't. I think you go that route if you're completely out on Pratt and Clifford. Like Clifford, I'm out. Like I'm done with the Clifford experiment. That's done over with for me. I think he should just retire and go become an assistant coach for the Packers, just like freaking what's his name did, Sean Manning did. Right now, Michael Pratt has some talent. Like I think he can be a pretty damn good quarterback. I just think that yesterday was not a good showing, but nobody showed up. It wasn't just like it was just him, I'm saying so. The thing with Tannehill thing is like I would keep him on standby, but I wouldn't bring him in unless there was a fear of thinking he's going to get picked up by somebody else. Because Tannehill's last year in Tennessee was not good. And maybe he knows the system to a degree. Maybe he can come in and help a little bit. I go with Pratt and just let it ride. And if Jordan goes down.
Dude, we let it ride with Clifford last year.
That's what I'm saying. If we did that, we could do this too. We could do it again. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And
what do you think? Do you think they should bring in Tannehill? Do you think? What do you think?
No.
Yeah, see, I just think it's a waste of money, bro.
Just let it ride, man. Come on, man. We had Scott Tolzien play for us at one time.
Was he a Wisconsin player too?
Hell yeah, he was, dude. That was my greatest day. There was a highlight. He's got a sweet ass touchdown run out there where he unleashes a spin move.
Oh, against Minnesota. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. And so I just love it. Scott Tolzien. If we've been down that road, I think we're gonna be fine with Michael Pratt. And it's if we bring Tannehill in, he just warmed. So Nick says he warms up bench, uses Pratt in case Jordan goes down. I feel like if Love goes down, like you said,
you're done.
Then bring him in. Then bring Tannehill in. I understand the concern. I understand.
Yeah. I think if other quarterbacks get hurt, maybe. If you're okay, he's gonna get picked up by, let's say, San Francisco but they got Josh Dobbs over there, right?
Yeah.
I guess if some other quarterback goes down and they're hey, we still got a shot to be okay if we bring in a guy like Tannehill who can run the shop for us for a little bit until our quarterback comes back. Yeah, then maybe I pick him up and bring him in and just have him there, right?
Yeah.
But I'm with you, bro. It's a little bit of a catch-22 at this point. Honestly, I'm just waiting to see what kickers get released so we can bring them in because that's where my mind's at, honestly.
Yeah. So speaking of kickers, one of the kickers that pops up in my mind is the Ravens kicker.
Yep.
We'll jump back into this Packers host of Ravens. There were some other comments I wanted to jump into, but I could stay there forever.
I know what you're looking at too.
Packers host Ravens. What are you hoping to see here? You're kind of sort of getting into it. Do you think we throw some starters, some bigger names out there for a series or two?
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Ravens defense has evolved now that Mike McDonald's gone and Zach Orr took over. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do there with that, right?
Yeah.
Also, I want to see if King Henry practices at all. And like, I think people don't really understand how terrifying that offense can be with a healthy Henry and Lamar, because Henry has never had a quarterback like Lamar, and Lamar has never had a running back like Henry. Like it's like you talk about the perfect freaking storm, bro. Perfect storm. So I'm looking forward to seeing if, when it comes to the preseason game, how Baltimore, like if they play their starters and how they do. I'm just waiting for the story too. Like, I just want to see Jair and Lamar cutting it up. I want to hear what they have to say about each other. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Just honestly, like how we met. Like, Denver last year was a terrible team, but their defense was like inconsistently good, if that makes sense. Like they got ate up really, really bad by Miami and other teams, right? And then slowly they started getting better throughout the year. So I feel like their defense wasn't as bad as as they looked, because they got like 500 yards ran on them by Miami. But like it was a good test for us, and Baltimore is going to be the ultimate test. I feel. What are you thinking? What do you want to see?
This is what I want to see. I agree with Gail here, who said half game for starters. I'd love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get a quarter. It depends on how long the drives last. I think we get 2 drives out of Love. If he goes off and he orchestrates, a touchdown drive and is like, 4 of 5 on a drive and it leads to a touchdown, that just might be it. I don't think they're going to mess around if he does that. Why risk it if he goes out there and operates?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But who knows? Like a half game could happen. I think some starters will be out there for half a game.
Mm-hmm.
Nick here says Packers Ravens is a great litmus test for starting defense to attempt a brutal running attack defense. I think that's a fantastic point.
Yep.
Like I'd love to see that if we have more defensive starters or some like heavy rotational guys out there on defense getting to play against this Ravens attack, rushing attack, at least for the first quarter. That's something that's, we want to see that, right? That's Joe Barry out, like bring someone in, show us you can stop the run for the love of God. And
like when I saw the runs last night, I was just like, what the? I was like, again? Like, really? Like, oh my gosh, bro. Like, it was terrible. It was like, what was it? It was like 3rd and 17, and they got like 16 yards, and they went for it on 4th down. I was like, it's like Joe Barry never left. Like, what are we doing right now?
That's what I was just bringing that up. Who Soder said that? Yeah, he said, but there was no fire in defense. Felt like Barry never left.
So. Told you, me and Soder got a mind meld, dude. That's my dog, man. Like me and him are always like on the same freaking line. Like if I watched the game with him, we probably wouldn't have to say a single word, but we would know exactly what each one of us is thinking. Because he's that dude just thinks just like I do. It's terrible and funny at the same time.
So I'd like to see that, man. I think that's the matchup I want to see most. Is what Nick pointed out there, is that run defense versus this run attack.
Yeah.
And also what I want to see too is he sort of just saying, bring the juice, bring the energy. Even if you're the second squad, like play with a little pep, try to fire each other up. And I think that's going to be easier for them in Lambeau. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward that there's only one preseason game in Lambeau now. And that's the way it's going to probably be some seasons. I'm sure next year we'll get 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a bummer, man, because watching some of these other preseason games, right? I've been watching some Bears and some Vikings and some Lions preseason.
Yeah.
And I'm watching these games and they show the stands and they're empty, man. and I'm just like, play these preseason games at Lambeau, man. Bring them to Lambeau. We'll sell it. We'll sell it out.
It ain't the same, dude. It's the same.
Yeah. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings the other day. I had to go get my my windshield replaced on my truck.
Okay.
Next, across the street is Buffalo Wild Wings. It was Saturday, so all the preseason games are going to go on. It was going to take three hours, and so I said, "Shit, man! I'm taking my laptop. I'm going to walk over to B-Dubs. I'm going to get some wings. I'm going to watch preseason football and did some writing and some content creating. And I think it was Lions were in Arrowhead, right?
Yeah.
And And Arrowhead, right? The Chiefs are supposed to be the
defending
hot
Super Bowl
ticket.
champs.
It's supposed to be the hot ticket right now.
Yeah.
And Arrowhead wasn't full for preseason. It's Green Bay's a different breed, man. I don't know. Sorry, that was a rabbit hole. Just took the long way to get there, but just saying, man, I wish Green Bay would get two home preseason games because we're gonna fill it up. And what they do for family night, I don't know if you saw that news article saying something about how like they just break even on family night, having to pay for all the stuff that they do and paying for the staff and just paying like, is it $10 a head in the door? Mm-hmm. They're just breaking even on that on family night. And so I don't know. Just it's the culture, man. You got to love it. Iowa Joe in the house. Just want to say what's up, Joe.
Hey Joe, what's going on, man? I saw his comment. Yeah, we addressed that in the beginning where we knew that both offense and defense were playing very vanilla. Like that was 100%. And we knew like, I remember them saying that too. You can see it. I mean, but play calling based on exactly what both sides of the field were doing. Yeah, they were just very, very like keep it simple. They weren't trying to show anything, which is fine, I guess, right? That's understandable.
I mean, that Tecmo playbook, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, come on, like I want to see a little bit of creativity, a little bit, just to like, because these backups eventually might become starters, and they need to know how to run what you guys are going to think about playing down the road. But you know what? That's what practice reps are for. I get all that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing this week because the thing is like these guys, every single one of these players, including the coaches, they're just like us. They're not fans where they get emotional like us, I guess. Or maybe they do. We just don't see it. But they're seeing every single thing that we're seeing. They're seeing all the talking heads. They're seeing all the commentary, the articles. They're seeing everything about, oh, man, the Packers ain't it. I mean, the talking heads to talk about the Packers aren't just Super Bowl good enough. And they're not this and they're not that. I'm like, it seems like that, that group of people that are with the Milwaukee group that's like, they just like, engagement bait all the time, right? I'm just like, nobody was talking about the Packers in 2010. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, what do we like? I just like you said. End of the day, it was a preseason game. Who cares? You look at it, you see what the good is, you see what the bad is, you see what the ugly is. You move forward, and this is a new week. We can try and clean it up, and then shit. Hey man, regular season's right around the corner. I freaking can't wait.
Absolutely.
Gil's right too. Gil's absolutely right. And there's one thing I want to talk real quick. I want to kibosh this. Maybe, or do you want to wait? I know we both just agreed that we know what the comment is. You want to talk about at the end? You know what I'm talking about. The one.
Yeah,
comment.
you can pull it up.
Pull it up, right? Okay. Let me see if I guess right. I keep seeing this crap. Keep seeing this crap.
Yes.
Yep.
I keep seeing that crap.
And look,
just a joke, man. I don't know who they got writing for Bleacher Report, but
someone put the betting odds out, and they have Packers 3, which is kind of high if you ask me. Honestly, like I just don't see them. That'd be crazy, man. That's all I gotta say. Like, I don't. It just goes away from everything they've been doing to do that, right? Like,
well, hey, if the Packers are a wild card and we get to go to the NFC East champions' house, the Dallas Cowboys, to start our playoff run again, that's fine, man. I like Jerry World. It's okay. Go win the East.
There you go. But yeah, no, I had to put that out there. So, hey, guys, if that happens, I ain't promising anything because anything could freaking happen. But that would blow my mind. Then again, Josh Jacobs getting picked up blew my mind too. So you know what? You never know. You don't know what this boy's stupid as hell. I swear to God, he's True North Packers doing this shit. But hey, it's CD. Look, at this point, I'm ready to bring in Justin Reed from Kansas City because his ass can kick better than damn Anders Carlson. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. They ain't gonna let him go because he's gonna be there to kickoff specialist probably. But I'm just saying, good God, man. I want to go learn how to kick a full football. Shit.
So I know we've been I've been watching. I kind of stated earlier. I've been watching some of the NFC North teams.
Yeah.
Just maybe some quick thoughts of anything from any other NFC North teams. If you've been watching this preseason, we all know what the Bears fans are talking about. the Lions feel like they're prepping, to take another run at the NFC North crown, to make a run to the Super Bowl. The Vikings are crying, as they should. They're having a rough go over there. I don't feel sorry for them.
Nope.
But at the same time, I wouldn't wish it upon my enemy for all the injuries they're, I want to beat our rivals at full strength, man.
100%.
I don't,
Yeah.
So it's like I don't feel sorry for them, but for the fans, but at the same, I feel sorry for the athletes. I should make that clear.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, because the way I said it was them, and I want to make sure that when I'm saying them, it's the fans. I don't ever wish any harm upon any professional athlete.
Yeah, those fans are
very clear
for
about
years. They're pandering that picture of Aaron Rodgers getting broke the hell up by Anthony Barr. So yeah, they're just getting their karmas. All that shit is. That's all it is. That's what they get. And no Packer fan ever did that shit when we were busting their asses up. Hey, we never did that, but that's okay though. Yeah. And when TJ Hawkinson tore every single ligament in his knee, we didn't start posting that. And that was against us. But I know I'm with you. So NFC North, I am loving the Caleb Williams hype because I can't wait for that shit to come down because I know it will. And he's doing all this fancy with playing against second and third stringers, and I just can't wait to see the Bears' dreams come. I mean, I think he's going to be good. I just think that their reality is going to hit hard week 1 against Tennessee because everyone thinks that Tennessee is going to be a shady team. I don't think they are. I think they're going to be a pretty good team. Yeah. And Detroit's Detroit. I just think they were a flash in the pan. I don't see them repeating what they did last year. And Minnesota, like we just talked about, karma's a bitch. Sorry, I'm with you. Fans are getting a taste of their own medicine. And as for the players, I would never wish any ill will on any of them. And so I just hope that McCarthy comes back healthy. And, Addison is not as – I don't think his was that serious, even though it sounded like it was serious.
Yeah.
And, the Vikings just have a really bad luck. I mean, I hate to say it, Kyrie Thornton. Is it Kyrie Thornton? No, what's that kid's name? Was it Kyrie Thornton?
I thought Kyrie Thornton, yeah.
Yeah, Kyrie Thornton passes, just a really shitty situation. Just so much going on, right? But you know what? The NFC North is going to be a crazy division this year. I just can't wait to see. I can't wait for it to come to fruition, honestly.
Yeah. I think the Lions are going to be a tough challenge again. I don't – will they be as prolific as last year? I'm not sure. Yeah, but that's gonna be our main contender to win the NFC North. The Bears, what I've been seeing from Caleb Williams, some people are trying to point out the play that he made that everyone talked about this last week. Yeah. It was. I won't deny that was a good play. Yeah. And then of course it's the other rookie, Roman Dunze. And so they should be hyped about that. Yeah. And we'll see what it looks like. I think he'll make flash plays like that this season, but I'll see if he can put it all together, year 1 as a rookie. I'm really curious. I think they finished their they go to Arrowhead, I think, to finish up their preseason, the Bears. We'll see what I think they'll stick their offense out there again. It's interesting, man.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's one of the more interesting Bears teams to watch in recent history, to be honest with you.
The hype. But this is the same thing with them every year. Every year, with Mitch Trubisky, with Fields, and now with Caleb Williams, they just find this oh, hey, we're gonna be so freaking awesome. It's all right, cool, we'll see about that.
And for players like Caleb Williams, right, he's getting shade thrown at him, not just from Packers fan, but across the whole league for maybe
being a little different.
Being a little different, man. And I'm not going to throw any shade at him for that at all.
No.
I don't got that in me. And so, because when that happens to other players, I typically sometimes will kind of root for them. But unfortunately for Caleb, you're on the Bears, bro. So
it's kind of hard.
I can't do it.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. And so I'm feeling good about the Packers winning the NFC North this year.
Me too. Yeah.
And but either way, I feel like we're a playoff team. And so early, I want to get into this just a little bit after we've seen 2/3 of our preseason. Do you have any early season thoughts that might have changed, or new thoughts you might have going on right now? Because I had something pop up in my head. That's why I thought of this.
Mhm.
So I guess I can share my thought, and then maybe you can.
Yeah, go please. No, you go first.
That'll spark an idea.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought about how we just looked in Denver.
Yeah.
I saw some reports at the inter squad practices that we were kind of on the slow, lethargic side sometimes there as well, leading up to this. So got you to think, like, are we going to see more road woes to start the season off with this big travel now? And with adding a 17th game to the season, can you afford slower starts now in the NFL? I mean, you don't want to start slow, obviously.
Right.
But you could possibly be like, well, this first week, man, we're just going to go out there and do what we can. But I don't know. I feel maybe it's just because the energy, the vibe in Denver was so kind of low.
Yeah.
Maybe just it created this idea in my head where it's just like they're not as pressed to come out in Brazil slicing and dicing like we would want them to. But so now it kind of makes me feel like, could we start a little slow and see a turnaround, hopefully earlier than what happened last year. But it just kind of sparked some thoughts there.
I think you're spot on. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking the offense was going to hit the ground running and the defense was going to take some time to kind of come up, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to think that both offense and defense are going to take some time to kind of get their feet up under them. I definitely do want to see how the offense looks this week against Baltimore, practice and in the preseason, if Jordan is playing. I think even though Philly had a very underwhelming season last year, they're undefeated and then it seems like the wheels fell off at the back end, barely made the playoffs, then lost to a Tampa Bay team that they weren't expecting to lose to, right?
Yeah.
But they're still a good football team with a lot of marquee talent. Now, the coaching could be a suspect, but the talent is undeniable. And so it's going to be a really good test of both where Jordan is from this time last year when he was coming in, and then what Hafley is going to do different than what we've been seeing for the last 3.5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, he sort of said don't come out flat in Brazil. And I'm a little worried that might happen. You would hope that they recover when they come back home and play Indy the next week.
Right. And that's another tough game against Indy is no joke either. Now, he might be out Josh Downs. I think Josh Downs, high ankle sprain, he's going to be out for a few weeks. But that's going to be another tough game. We don't play well against Indy. We've never played well against Indy. And, Jonathan Taylor, old Wisconsin guy's going to come back. And he like you were talking about a situation where a player kind of took over a game. And I remember them talking about him in 2022, I think it was. Where or it was last year, actually. It was last year where he literally was trying to win that game against the Houston Texans. He had almost 300 yards rushing, and it was he just put the team on his back and was just all over the place, right? And the early season is going to be a good test, just because I think we start out with Eagles, we have the Colts, and then is it Tennessee after that?
Titans after that,
Titans, right? And the Titans are going to be that anomaly team, but by week 3, you might know what they're doing. But I feel like the Packers are in a position where it's not like a team's going to outright beat them anymore. I hope not, right? But more so, they'll beat themselves, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But there's some games where we went in back in the day and we just knew we were going to get smoked. It didn't matter what we did, we were going to lose, right? I feel like that's kind of behind us now. And this team is going to run as well as it does based on just them playing good, sound, well-executed football.
Yeah. I some early season thoughts I had is, hope we don't come out flat, but with Eagles, Colts at Titans, you really hope that we can get through that at 2-1.
Yeah.
So then in week 4, right, Vikings come to Green Bay. So get 2 of those 3 before the Vikings come to town. I feel like that's a game That Vikings
I
team
agree.
coming to town. We better handle that.
Easily. I'm sorry. Like, we need some revenge after what they did to us in Lambeau last year. There's no way Sam Darnold should be coming into Green Bay and whooping our ass. I'm sorry. There's just no freaking way.
Yeah.
No freaking way, man.
Absolutely not. That cannot happen.
I'm sorry.
So we still have the rest of the preseason to go. We got a week left, and we got a lot of trimming and cutting to do with this roster.
Okay.
So that's going to take us to the segment of cut them or keep them.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you, I'll bring up the names and just, I know some of these guys can eventually get stashed on the practice squad. So you do kind of have a third option for some of these guys. But predominantly
I'll just keep it strictly cut them and keep them, because then you start doing stashing. Then it's like, I'll cut them and stash them. No, I'm not gonna do that because I think the wow factor will be based on just making one of those two determinations, right? So
I got it. All right, and if you're in the comment section right now, feel free to tell us what you think about some of these names of cut them and keep them. All right. Going to start at the QB position with Sean Clifford. Cut him or keep him? Cut him.
Gone.
That means that Michael Pratt.
He's in. Keep him.
Keep him. Then let's go look at some of these weapons here. Grant.
Oh, I'm keeping him. He had a bad game, but I'm keeping him. I think there's a lot of talent there.
All right. Malik Heath.
I try to find a way to keep him. He was the only guy on offense yesterday that was getting wide open. Clifford couldn't hit him for two big passes, right?
Yeah.
But Heath was looking good, man. He looked good.
Bo Melton.
I want to keep him so bad. I do. I just think he's had a really bad camp. And even in that game, there was a defensive pass interference that wasn't called, and but he just hasn't had a really good camp. I'm just kind of hoping to God that we find a way to keep him, because he's not just a wide receiver. Like, he can be a punt returner, he can be a kick returner, he can also be your swing guy, he can be your motion guy. So I keep him at least for another year, and if you don't see improvement, then you cut him.
So I got to ask, how many wide receivers do you want to keep?
I think I'm keeping 7. I think right. I think it would be Watson, Dobbs, Reed, Wicks, Heath, DeBose, and Melton. Yeah.
There it is. There's the 7. All right. Before we move on, I see the comment section blowing up right now.
Yeah.
So I gotta stop at. Okay, we just finished up wide receiver.
Okay.
Okay, they're just saying keep cut.
They didn't say names, but yeah, I think they were like. I think like if you go up in the beginning, definitely like it started out with cutting. They both were cut Clifford, and they both were keep Pratt. They were both like keep DuBose. Everybody's cut, and then someone's like, then it's like, then it got kind of crazy.
Malik the practice squad.
Yeah.
Bo showed promise last year. Only fast field stretch outside of Melton. 6 wide receivers, says Soder. So we'll see. Because I feel like if there's going to be a 7th wide receiver, they better be on some coverage teams or returning or something.
Exactly.
So let's go back here. We're going to go to the ground now with Emmanuel Wilson.
I'm keeping Emmanuel. He's been literally the bright spot on running. If there's a Marshawn Lloyd, if anything, I IR Marshawn. Let him just sit for a year, get healthy, get better refined at the game. And definitely I keep Wilson.
Yeah. Could you also do something like a pup list, right? Where
you could do a pup list for
Lloyd on there.
Yeah.
And then say when Lloyd comes back, maybe Wilson's shown a little thing here or there. You could trade him or trade Dylan. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that long. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a thought here. Let's see here. Nick says got a dip. See you later. Oh, I forgot to. Yeah. See you, Nick. Thanks for dropping in. Also, I forgot earlier. Caleb's in the house. If you're still listening, Caleb, what's up, dude? So I also got here Caleb or Wilson cut.
Yep.
From Soder. That might be the most hurtful cut. I think too. There's a chance that he it's a business. Yeah. Wilson might get cut, and that's going to be a sad one. All right, Ben Sims.
I'm cutting Ben.
Cutting Ben.
Even though I like Ben, I'm cutting Ben. I'm cutting Tyler Davis too. He looked
Tyler
terrible
Davis.
as a blocker.
So you cut Davis, you cut Sims. Who do we got at that tight end position? Obviously, Kraft, Musgrave are there.
And then Joel Wilson. Joel Wilson was playing his ass off.
Okay.
I'm with Soder. If I could keep 4 tight ends, then it would be Kraft, Musgrave, it would be Sims, and it would be Wilson.
All right. Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting. There's gonna be some names like every year that it's like, dang, man.
It's always like that though. It's always like that where there's a guy like shit, like they cut who? They didn't want him. Like, okay, you know, so I can't wait.
Keep Sims, cut Davis like right now.
I did have this infatuation with Tyler Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because he got a big ass nose like me or some shit. I don't know. But boy, I'm just like, I'm over that, dude. I'm just like, no, man. I was like, no, like that. I'm done with that one. He was highly touted coming out of college. I get that, but no, it just hasn't worked out. And also, he's coming back from his ACL, right? So maybe that's why his blocking hasn't been good and he hasn't been assignment sound. But I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Andre Dillard.
You know what? It's funny. I would have cut him a long time ago, but his numbers have been good. He's done extremely well in pass blocking, and you know he's actually graded out really well in PFF scores and things like that. So I keep Dillard.
Right on. Royce Newman.
I didn't even say nothing to that. Like, I gotta say something. How Iowa Joe is like keep Sims and cut Davis right now. Cut Newman last year. Shit, like he should have been gone, dog.
Yeah,
been gone. Yes.
Yeah, and then he's sort of also saying, "I hate it, but keep Dillard."
You have to right now. Man. He's a swing tackle, man. Like he's on a dirt cheap contract anyway. He's on a vet minimum. So what are you not losing?
Absolutely.
Him? Yeah.
All right, let's get into Eric Wilson.
Eric Wilson, I keep, but man, it's going to be a tough fight because Christian Walsh is playing his ass off, and then of course you have Hopper. You know,
Christian Walsh is my next one, man.
Oh, is he really? I keep Christian. I keep them both, but I don't know how you can, honestly.
I feel like both these guys are mostly special teamers playing in the middle there in a pinch. So you got to keep one. So Wilson cut Welch, and Welch had picked the ball off last night off that batted pass. He sort of thinks we should keep Wilson. Wilson recovered that fumble in the playoffs. That
he did. And also, he has experience playing in the defense like this.
Yeah.
With his time when he was with Zimmer. So I think that's another reason why. And also, he was like listed as a starter at one point. I don't know if that's still the case, but I know he was listed as a starter at one point. So but
Iowa Joe thinks Wilson gets cut and Welch is kept.
I could see that money wise as well as age, but you're not really paying that much for Wilson in comparison to Welch. Like it's probably negligible in that sense. And I would probably take Wilson's experience over Welch's potential. If anything, I put Welch on the practice squad. Even though I know someone would do that, I'd probably cut him, keep him in the practice squad as long as he sneaks through, and then go from there.
Yeah, this guy, I think we all know.
Oh, we're keeping his ass. Hell yeah! I don't know how many questions we're gonna keep, but we gotta keep. We gotta find a way to keep Cox. Man. I'm sorry, he's playing his ass off right now.
And here's a guy I've been cheering for since we drafted him, Kalen King.
He didn't have a good night. I'll give him that. He did not have a good night, but I keep him just because he's a rookie. He's young. He's a 7th round pick, and he's only going to learn with more experience. I think at the end of this year, if he is like playing really bad, then okay, then you know why he was a 7th round pick. I say right. There was multiple times in that game last night where like the one play where he whiffed really bad on the missed tackle, and that was one. And there was another one where the guy caught the ball in front of him. He missed on the tackle. Then he got back up and missed on a second tackle. And I'm just like, fucking hey, dude, like get the dude on the ground. So I was like, I think there's talent there, but man, like there's a lot of he has a lot of work he needs to do.
Yeah. All right. Peter Bowden.
He gone. He already gone.
They cut him again?
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's again, and I'm not happy about it either. If anything, I'm bringing his ass back. I don't know. I'm not sold on Matt.
Yeah.
Not sold on that dude.
Yeah.
Cut. Fucking cut him and Joseph. Cut them both. Oh shit, he was not.
I have them both on there. So
cut them both. I don't even care. Don't even kick. Just go for it on damn every time.
Go for two. Go for two every time.
Or pooch kick it. Pooch kick that shit. I don't give a damn. I am so over this field goal kicker thing competition. It is so aggravating. I'm just over it, bro. I'm so sick of it.
And so the kickers were my last there for our cut them or keep them segment. Okay. And so let's just take a moment. Maybe it can kind of be our last some of our last words.
Yeah.
Can be, what are we going to do with this kicker situation? Throw some ideas if you got some realistic ideas out there. Crosby is like, it's like a joke, but at the same time, it's like semi-realistic. Yeah. Or is it like, do you wait to see who else gets cut?
Yeah.
To see who we can bring in on the practice squad to be kicking as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you are spot on. Either if you think Mason can give you one more year, and he's pretty automatic from probably 49 to 1 yard, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he can still hit the long ones. Maybe he can. I don't know. But I would definitely bring in Mason. And if not Mason, I'm waiting to see what these other teams drop.
Yeah.
And then seeing if we could steal ourselves just any kicker that has some NFL experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just over this Carson thing, dude.
So my question is last night we tried a Joseph out to kick.
Yep.
Was Carlson one of the healthy scratches, or were they kicking did they pick quarters, or have they been flipping back and forth kicks?
They've been flipping back and forth kicks. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
But because the fact that the offense was so abysmal that they didn't really have that many field goal opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And so the one time they did, I guess Joseph was next up, kind of thing. But man, he shanked that shit like it got blocked off. It was so bad, bro. Yeah. It was so bad. I understand it was windy and all that shit too. But I'm sorry, in Green Bay, you're gonna have to deal with that too. You're gonna have to deal with the wind.
And that was something we criticized Joseph, right? He had like similar numbers to Carlson kicking in a dome. So it's just like, dude, you're not gonna come here and
I want to know. My last words are, I want to know what the fuck Goody was thinking when Jake Bates is in there for a workout and he's just like, nah, I don't want him. What was your reasoning to not sign him, to let him just compete instead of bringing this bum ass fuck off, who knows, Alex Hale? No offense to Alex. I know not your fault that you're a no name. I'm just saying, made no damn sense. And bro, I just need to understand what the logic was. Why didn't bring in a guy who has shown in the UFL or where the hell it is that he's a legit kicker, dude. He's a legit kicker. And I'm telling you, if he's winning game winners for Detroit, bro, it's gonna be like Creed Humphrey all over again. It's gonna be Creed Humphrey.
Dude, what if he just but what's going to hurt if he kicks a game winner
against us
Packers, or a game winner for to win the North or something?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So I'm so tired of losing because of special teams, man.
Yeah, I'm over it, dude. I'm so over it all. Who knows? It could have been fixed with Darren Rizzi, maybe. I don't know, but I'm just over this. It's like they've tried getting guys who have experience, then getting guys that are in-house, then getting guys who have really good experience. But really, if you look at Rich Bisaccia's rankings as a special teams coordinator, they haven't been great. They haven't been bad until they kicked Green Bay. They were pretty about middle of the pack, and they've been terrible in Green Bay. And I just don't know why that is. I just don't get it. Is it the players? I don't know, bro. It's something that like sad that Sean Solcombe was probably our last legit special teams coach, and he was the reason why. It wasn't really his fault, but he was the coach for the Brandon Bostic fuck up on the onside kick, even though like he legit told everybody, told everybody Jordy's catching the ball, like everybody was told that before they went out there.
Yeah,
Sean's like, I told them 6 times or some shit. And they still in that dumbass. He got death threats. I can't call him a dumbass, but
yeah, man.
I'm still not over that 2014 loss, man. Oh my
god. Oh man, no, that one's a tough one, man. And I know he's out there trying who you're frustrated with. He's out there trying to make his life right and make things good. And that's that's a tough one, dude. That's one he's got to live with for the rest of his life. And but let's hope, man. We are just over 2 weeks away from kicking off in Brazil. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem real. College ball, man, that is less.
It's a week away, right? It's a week away. Yeah.
And so maybe we can just take a moment, like the 24th, 5 days from now.
Yeah.
We get the kickoff game in Dublin, Florida State, Georgia Tech. I will be watching that.
Hell yeah, man!
I'm stoked. The game's at 9 a.m. on the West Coast.
Oh, look at you! You're so lucky, dude. Like, you get all your games all early and shit.
Just
we
gotta
wait forever for our games, bro.
The reason why I'm really pumped to that too is I think it's like 2028, maybe, or is it 2027? Maybe 2027. 27 or 28. Badgers, Pittsburgh Panthers do the Irish kickoff game like in Dublin.
Nice. Yeah.
And I am already putting money away. The wife and I
the
wife and I are planning to go out there for that one. But needless to say, it feels like football season is here. We just got to get through one more preseason game. Hopefully it's not as agonizing as this one was. Mm-hmm. Iowa Joe says he's going to be driving to Green Bay Saturday, so he will be there.
Nice, very nice.
So for any of you that are going there for the only preseason game, have a good time.
Yes.
We are here, folks. It's real. It's really here. And yeah, man, we're gonna be back. Do we have anything lined up this week?
Yeah. So we're gonna be guests on a show on Saturday. We're gonna be on a Raven podcast, doing a little pregame before the game starts. So we'll make sure to send out the link. So be on the lookout for the link for that. It's a girl that's doing podcasting for the Ravens. She's been doing it for a little bit. So can't wait to go on her show. And her name is Yolanda, I believe. So really looking forward to that. And then we just have our normal show on Monday. And then I am still trying to line up maybe a guest here or there. But I know that me and Bernie do have some things in the hopper to kind of like enhance our experience, our content, and when it comes to our live experiences, when it does live, when we're doing watch parties and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. And so yeah, we're looking forward to it.
All right, and as always, go Pack, go
Pack.